Hello and welcome back here to DreamHack Open Summer 2020. My name is Risk, alongside me is Tombiz, and we are ready for a banger of a game. It's going to be ForZe going up against OG, and one team is going home, the other team is going to the semifinals. How are you feeling, Tom?
I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this is a potential brawl, especially with the amount of stars that we have on the server. The thing that I sort of question, though, is, like, do we get ForZe stepping up to the level that I know they can play at? And that's the thing. I've been sort of fortunate, well, I guess not recently, before the break, to get to cast them quite regularly, be it in Hellcase or be it in the qualifier for the We Play Clutch Island. And I guess that's where I'm going with this, is in the last RMR event, they didn't even make it out the qualifier, which for a team that's supposed to be like, okay, yeah, you've got your Na'Vi, but they're meant to be in the bracket of like that VP, that Spirit. Yeah. Like, they're meant to be up there with them. And as of recent, they have not been within the CIS region. Now, they can still upset. And since they've come back from the break, they've had a few decent matches that has me hopeful. But either way, we're into this one. And FaceCrack, of course, the crazy entry fragger from the team is going to be leading the charge. But he is going to be put down fairly fast.
It's going to be Valdemort with the first frag. Let's see if he can make some more magic happen. Issa just looking for frags, and he's finding them. 3 players still alive for the T side, but surely with a kid on Valda and a smoke on Alexi B, there should be a diffuse coming in. Might not even need those, but extra power with a triple coming out of nothing. Can he actually win this round? The smoke is on the bomb, though, and the diffuse is coming in, but it's without a kid. And there will be enough time, but extra power almost made that interesting. Well, that was insane, Tom. We need to do that in the slow-mo.
That was so clean, like those taps with the P250. I know it gives you the extra range, but the first one, I'm like,
oh my god,
that was easy. Second one,
nah.
Just
that's too much.
Around at the end. That's
too
dirty.
That's not a lot.
Unfortunately, there was not really anybody else before we begin the round. But that's a lot of the time, though. That's a very, very good sign. Yeah. Because XP is someone who can completely dominate matches if he's there with the AWP. I believe as well that there was some problems a while back with his wrist. Obviously having some of the craziest flicks and probably did some sort of damage, but I think he's come back into form. The main question for me is always Flit. Yeah. Because he's a young star, still 19 years of age, someone who can play fantastically well, but he's very inconsistent. I think they're going to need him here today. They have forced into this one off the back of the bomb plant and the extra money made from the likes of XP Power. He will have an AK. The problem is they're being picked apart. They've got onto this A site once again. Another bomb plant to put them in a good position for the next round. But ultimately winning this one, it's going to be tough.
I really like this setup for OG. They know that it's probably going to be a force buy from ForZe. So they play around the mid and just have a 3-man stack in mid and allow the T players on the side, and technically would also allow the bomb plant. But they have a 4v2 situation, and that was only because Valde couldn't win an individual 1v1. So it's definitely the correct choice tactically made by OG here. But anything can still happen. Exit power with head armor, with an AK. Almasa with a Galil. It's not over just yet.
It's going to be difficult for them to find an individual duel with this current setup. You can see Issa just being very passive, and then the 2 players around Connector almost have each other's back. They might not need it, though. Alexi B comfortably closing that out, and well, that's a really nice conversion for them. Sure, they only upgrade 1 rifle, but they get to keep the remaining 2. Going into this round, there wasn't a bomb plant, so there isn't that extra injection of cash that we saw in the last for ForZe to play with. So they can invest a bit into pistols. Of course, loss bonus does build up relatively quickly, so not really too much worry going into the next round. The question will be, do they have enough cash to actually get the AWP?
Yeah, that's also one of the big asks for me in this round. But let's wait and see. This is an eco. Will they get anything out of it? They're just rushing mid, trying to get this one over with my point can wait. And yeah, they'll be destroyed in top mid. Only 1 frag, maybe even 2. Okay, extra power, nicely done. So 2 frags coming in from the full eco. What I wanted to say was that I think the main battle, the main feature in this matchup, for me at least, is going to be extra power versus Manto. 2 very, very exciting players. Extra power, probably the biggest name in this duel, and probably also the favorite. But Manto, when he has his good games, he is absolutely turned. He will get anything going, and he can just get an angle out of nothing almost. So I'm really looking forward to seeing these 2 battle it out. throughout this series and hopefully over all 3 maps, so we really get the whole thing. But Exit Power will have to be the one to carry his team. He has to be the MVP for ForZe, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's the difference. I think the best way to put it is like a lot of the time so Mantu's I think is definitely more consistent, but also if he has a good performance, I would say that's a bonus for OG because you have the basis of Valde, you have Issa who are almost definitely going to put up decent numbers. On the other side of things, okay, FaceCrack can have good games. Okay, Flit can have good games. But if XP doesn't have a good game, that's a very scary prospect for a squad that does rely on his individual skill quite a lot and quite often. LXCB, good positioning. FaceCrack. As I said, FaceCrack for me is insane. Like, he's going to make pushes that most players wouldn't dare to make, and a lot of the time it ends in the way you've just seen. The rest of the team, though, playing as more of a unit, but LXCB doing so much damage. He is, however, caught by Flit. An important kill, which keeps the bomb standing. Interestingly, the bomb's actually onto XP, which I imagine he's going to try and juggle through to Jerry, and they will get an after-plant situation.
Crazy confidence on Issa there. He knows there's an orb up in B apartments, and he still decides to challenge it with his M4. Will go down because of it. And now the question is, are they actually just going to go safe here in a 2v3? I think that's the case.
And maybe just try and get some players on the outskirts as they push out. Just hold them in and try and do some damage. But to be honest, with OG keeping the last round at least relatively clean and obviously winning the last 2 in a similar fashion, beating out what was the force buy as well in a clean round, their money's not bad. So Valde will be able to drop one. Issa can buy himself. LXB can buy himself. And then you have a 4 buy. So not really worth risking a 2 versus 3 in an after-plant position when you know that your opponent's just bought. They're not going to catch anyone on the exit, though. So at least for ForZe going forward, they're in a pretty good position.
Both teams now, money-wise, in fine spots. It's going to be a full buy here. And we're going to see, once again, Mantu and XP with their weapons. Also full utility on all players, so it's a free choice one kind of execute you want to run here. There's no limit from the utility. Oh, okay, interesting. Little edge peek, and Mantu's down towards the underground. We'll pick up Jerry. Nicely done. XP with the orb in middle. Will he take that challenge? FaceCrack already moving his way onto short. What's NBK gonna do here? Nice timing.
Oh, the timing couldn't be better, and he gets the second on the onto FaceCrack, hoping to trade. Now with only 2 players remaining, this is a pretty bleak scenario. XP actually trapped in a bit of an awkward position. I was about to say earlier, like, how does Mantu escape from here? It's a good place to get an opening pick, but I feel like you have to have something in place to actually get your offer back out of that spot, like maybe a smoke that he can run through to get into the connector. Instead, it was just hang on. And eventually, Almeza has been able to bring this back alongside XP. Still plenty of time as well and control of the bomb. So this isn't a nail in the coffin.
But Issa has pushed out very aggressively towards T-spawn, so he's definitely securing that this is not going to be an A play, which means that Valde's rotation should be from the window position. So the second that they hear a smoke or hear a shot or anything, that's going to be Valde's rotation. So he's going to be in market when this T side comes. Maybe they're just going to walk in. No smokes. Okay. They're not showing their hand right now, and that's delaying the rotation because Valde needs a sign from his teammates. He needs some communication. NBK taken out. Now it's going to be a 2v2 retake. Very wisely done by the T side. They're not showing anything because they fear of that map control. And now Issa is coming in from the back. He sees the orb. Surely. Oh, surely he's seen it. Oh, no. Oh, no.
He manages to get away with it and hits the shot as well. This is what we like to see from this man. Probably wasn't expecting that flank to be so soon, but now Valde, he's actually going to go for this. I think he might have just had to give it up. An awkward position to be in.
You might get some extra tracks.
Maybe just looking to try and retrieve that AWP.
But they're not going to go through T apartments. He has the chance of getting the orb then. That's the choice he has to make.
That was a 2v5.
Yeah, and that was extra power. We talk about him being the MVP, and he's doing exactly what MVPs do. Taking the round on his own back and carrying that. He's 9-3 right now.
Yeah, this shot onto bench was nice. But it's this one. He almost falls down and then the baits a couple of shots from Issa. And that's the thing. They didn't expect that flank to be so soon because Issa had actually pushed around so early. And that's why it was a little bit of a surprise that we didn't get more. But I guess because mid control was given up by OG, they didn't actually know that they'd got all the way up into deep B apartments until MBK actually died. So a new round. And unfortunately, there's not really much in this one. Mantu invested a small amount into some Kevlar.
Did Valde drop his pistol?
Other than that.
Or is that just a bug in the
maybe that. I think maybe he's given his pistol over to Mantu for the round.
Yeah, but shouldn't he get a USP as well? Oh well. I guess USP or no USP doesn't really matter against an AK, but yeah. Interesting choice nonetheless. Flip, once again, great success going up into the connector. Second time around he's done that in this game so far. And yeah, it's just going to be a save of the armor on Mantu and of course the whole setup on Valde.
Yeah, it's not the worst case scenario for them. I feel like that's basically the sort of plays you have to go in these sort of rounds, an all-in gamble. Whereas, okay, we stack. If they come our way, we have a chance to win the round. We can put that up to use. If not, very important to keep it into the next round because financially, the CT side is still in a little bit of an awkward spot. So ForZe, they're going to use this as a almost economy buffer. They'll just get to save absolutely everything. Not really any reason for them to go on the hunt knowing that, well, realistically, there's probably not been too much invested into this round. They are going to even things up 3-3, and I'm happy to see them get off to a good start. As well, like obviously at the moment we're still looking at this being mostly Xe power, which although I think he's a phenomenal individual, I don't think he can keep this up throughout the whole map unless he somehow drops like 50 kills. Which if he does, I bow down and well, I accept my new overlord from the CIS. But realistically, there has to be someone else. Otherwise, we are going to start to see OG grind this back. And with a buy like this, it may start now.
4 and 4s and the orb on Mantu. I'm going to have to see something else from the likes of FaceCrack, the likes of Flit, and the two support-ish players of Jerry and Elmaser. I'm going to have to see those guys help the rest of the team out because it cannot be just Xe power, as you said before. Once again, this triple man stack in middle, where you have one in the window, one in short, and one watching that underground. And once again, that leaves two players alone on A and B side, respectively. It's an interesting gamble. Let's see if it works out. Already now, one of the players has rotated out. So now it's Mantu holding mid, and his teammate Valde in the bottom.
Oh, no.
But there's Valde's peek coming in, and that's the perfect timing, but he misses the spray. Flash and nade both comes in, but he's still alive, Valde, and they've kept the T side away from top mid.
The thing is, they still had a lurk on the other side of the map, and keeping ramp control can be so important on a map like Mirage. Once it's taken, retaking it can go very badly wrong. The fact is, though, they're still looking to gamble in the direction of B. Something that Valde mentioned was the fact that they believe they lost that game due to, well, bare basics, like missing their shots. And I do wonder if not being able to get either of the peaks, either of the kills, might come back to bite them in this round, as now the push looks to come in. MBK's left completely blind. Now, they haven't cleared the truck just yet, but the Molotov leaves Alexi B very low. And it is just a trade, and there's Jerry. He's just the snake in the grass waiting behind them to give that man advantage, now coming in from behind as well. And it's left onto the man who started it all, Valde, to try and save this AWP. ForZe, what a fantastic take with so little time on the clock. And well, that was pretty methodical.
Yeah, and I have to say Jerry is the one who really deserves the praise in this round, because he was the one who sealed the deal. Coming in with the lurk, getting 2 frags, completely surprising both of his opponents. They had no idea what was going on, and with those 2 frags in the bag, then the round is done. Like, there's no way that Valde is going to be able to clutch that on his own. So Jerry, well done to him. On 4-5 right now, but 2 important frags there. Not the hardest frags.
But the other thing is... Yeah, that's true. I think something I've always liked a lot about Jerry is something we criticize, I think, quite often within the CIS region, is the fact that structure is not really a thing. But I've noticed, especially if you watch like in the past, like maps like Overpass, although they did ban it out here, he is someone who has, especially on the CT side, a hell of a lot of setups, which if you're watching a normal team, don't actually make a lot of sense. Like I've seen rounds where he will completely switch up his position, where you'll have XD power, even playing on a position like barrels or something ridiculous with the AWP. Like he has so many different ideas that he tries to implement. And again, we talk about the interview we had with him earlier today. He talks about the fact that my team did everything I said perfectly. And I think that seems to be the crux of this ForZe side. Like, I don't think the in-game leading a lot of the time is bad. I just think that Jerry has some very in-depth, complex ideas that sometimes it's impossible to run those perfectly every single time. I do think within the CIS, he is one of, if not the best in-game leader that we have. And also a fantastic personality as well, which helps out.
Yeah.
Face crack, well, it's a wide peak. It's what this man does. He takes away the distraction at least, and Almeza is going to double up. Of course, this round is just pistols for OG. There could be some damage at least, because that economy on the T side is starting to get pretty dangerous.
Everything's working out OG right now, or excuse me, ForZe right now. Our economy's going well, bombs getting down. Yes, this is just an eco, but it's just all working out their way. Exit power doesn't really need to do anything. It's just around us. It's against Deagle, so he won't really have the super long range duel. He should let the AKs take care of that. NBK try to get something done. He will get a kill. Not a secondary, but still denying 2 weapons. It's not great, but it's not bad either. Now the buy comes. Double up, Mantu and Alexi B.
Yeah, they can't be the one up on the other side though. I think they've got a bit more of an issue. Face crack again. As I said, I do think this man sometimes like just when he was created, someone forgot to input fear. He will run around any corner at any moment, run through any smoke at any time. He's actually gonna go straight through right now. You just can't write it. There was a flash, but even still, he just goes running and gunning. Yeah. There is no doubt in this man's mind that he has a job to do and he's gonna do it.
That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. Messed up the meme, but it doesn't matter. Hey. Alexi B, though, he doesn't mess up anything. He's a cold, thin, calculated. Just waiting, but maybe a bit too calculated. Let's not expect this one.
Okay, but the kills have come back in return. It is left onto this man once again. Mantu knows roughly where his opponent is. And he's not going to be able to do anything. NBK will get the frag. 5-4. There still look like opportunities there, but a good turnaround from OG before they can actually get into the site. And I think a lot of the time we talk about how effective retakes can be on this map. The one thing that worries me a little bit is if you're OG and you allow after plant situations, exactly what they denied right here, you have to then battle versus that defensive AWP of exit power. So I almost think that in a lot of these cases, it might be better to just try and disrupt them before they get into their position. Face crack though. He's just got barreling straight out mid with the rest of the squad. Instant headshot onto Alexi B. 1 AWP down. Mantu managed to recover slightly. Molotov, not quite. It was very close to getting rid of Flit, who's only on 7 HP.
But what
they've got to be ready for those sort of plays.
What he does with the Molotov there is he just buys time for the rotation and he forces T-side to go somewhere else. Yes, potentially he could have gotten the first frag onto Flit, but he would have been instantly traded afterwards. And then they would have had almost free access to the A side with only 1 player standing there. So I like the way that he plays this one. Now the stack in B with the 2 CT players and taking their chances, OG, that this is going to be a B play, and it is. It's going to be up to NBK and Mantu. Let's see here. Mantu should be flashed out, but he missed the shot before the flashbang came in. NBK rotating around the corner. The nade will do the damage, and they have not yet gained entry into the bomb site. And Mantu's just holding his angle. He's not quite sure. The information might not have come through yet, but NBK is confirming now. They're dropping into the site now. We have to take the tools. We have to hold them away, and he will. 1 frag coming in for him. Issa, close range. Mantu the same. And Issa will make all the noise. And then Mantu, they're actually stuck in the smoke. Mantu crossed in the smoke, and Jerry had no idea. 1v1.
Oh, think Jerry might just have this. He's
Yeah.
his way out, and Mantu homed in on the angle. The thing that's actually a really interesting point about that round is Jerry is 100% in OG's head. And I could prove that to a point. I almost hope that the desk take this round, because for nearly all of that take, Issa is constantly checking the flank. Every few seconds, he's like, are they behind me? Are they behind me? Jerry gets a kill, and he dedicates himself into the site, because he's like, oh, Jerry's there. There's no one behind me anymore. It is ridiculous. He is in their heads rent-free at the moment with that flank that he had a couple of rounds ago, which won them a round.
Okay, Issa. Nice little play there with the C-75 once again on the A side, making that money. And ForZe kind of disrupted a little bit, and you said it before. This is what OG need to do. They cannot allow them to get into these post-plant situations. So they're trying to disrupt them before that can happen. This is just an eco round with some small armors behind it and some utility, but still just getting in the heads aggressively of the opponents.
Risky. Oh, the flash coming through. I think actually Cole realized he gets one, but that's a very good trade. Luckily, Jerry is still lurking in the backlines, and now they're going to use this to try and push onto the site. Yeah, there's still 2 players here, in fact. Alexi B around the stairs, but wary of the connector, although MBK should be able to clear that within a matter of moments. They have not cleared this spot.
They should check it.
Oh, they're not going to. 100% not going to. Just walks with his back turn. Flit gets the trade, but it's Alexi B again, and now it's left all onto Jerry. He needs the headshot. He's going to run out of bullets, but he jumps up. Both players caught reloading at the same time, and it's down into this 1 versus 1.
The nade now. The nade from Alexi B.
Is he going to place it? Oh, doesn't quite reach. That's 15 HP, and Jerry's just going to hold the line. It is too close for comfort, but ForZe get their 7th.
What a round, though. What a round, though, from both teams. OG, of course, not happy with losing the round, but with the investment that they made, they got down to a 1v1. They have to be happy about that. But ForZe, 7-4, leading on the T side. Everything's working out for them right now. Of course, also a fairly even map on both sides of this one. So 51% on the CT side, 49 on the T side, which means that they don't have a particular side they're weak on or strong on. They're equally good on both. So they're leading and almost now getting an 8th round here, unless OG does something, which they will. It's turning out to be a good half for them, but OG, they constantly trying to put a spanner in the works. And this one seems like it'll be a big wrench. A big problem. Jerry all on his lonesome, but Issa will just take him out. No worries, he's burning. Fire at his feet. Fiends all around, doesn't care.
Oh, look at the money as well for ForZe. This is as hard a reset as we see in Counter-Strike nowadays. And a lot of this just came down to some fairly aggressive individual stances at the beginning of the round, and that's something we sort of mentioned going into things. Like we've seen a lot of strategical depth from ForZe sort of setups in the past, but I do still wonder if OG hit their stride, if we see this confidence come out, no matter who it is on the server, they can take those 1v1 fights. They can get in their face, and again, we see MBK do it this round. Currently sat top of the board for his squad with a few quieter performances. I think Mantu's been the one that I've sort of been missing a little bit. It's not that he's playing bad. It's just that there's been a few missed shots here and there, which are ones that I would expect him to nail 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. You can also see in the ADR, though, that every player from OG is definitely following up. The 2 lowest players on 67 ADR. But you have 2 players below that on ForZe's side, despite they're leading with 2 rounds. And it's also that 100 plus ADR from Exit Power. That's the reason why they're leading with 2 rounds right now. And that's the difference, I feel like, between these 2 teams. Individuals are stronger on OG. Oh, Issa gets the first one, and the second. The spray down continues. Issa, 1, 2, 3, almost 4. But Valde comes in and shuts down the party together with Alexi B.
I love how he turns into the face of Jerry. That is a jump scare if ever I've seen one. This is it. Like, he's going to be right there. That's the one thing you can never doubt when it comes to this CIS squad is Sometimes smokes don't exist.
Yeah.
FaceCrack is having a really rough game, though. And as I said, he's the player within this roster that is most hit and miss. As you can sort of see with many entry fraggers, the problem is he is taking insane risks to try and make these plays work, which definitely can catch off OG every once in a while. But considering it's been so unsuccessful so far, I would probably try and maybe play a little bit safer. But he's got Mac 10 in this round, so he's going to blast his way into the B side. I
like risky plays. It is almost in my name, but this is too much. Like, FaceCrack in this game has been too many risks. That's just a fact at this point. But he'll continue. I have no doubt about it. I totally agree with you. Like, he will continue doing this until it works at some point.
Yeah, I think some of his crazier plays are actually on Nuke as well, which so that's going to be a fun one, of course, coming up. But this round, there's still a minute left on the clock. There's been a lot of aggression again from Issa. He's done a great job throughout this map of managing to get himself in towards the flank.
Watch Valde.
2 kills coming up in mid, though, but they have managed to get the entries elsewhere. Flip, he's going to get the timing perfect. A freebie kill and looks to try and challenge to Valde. He's almost lost in that return. But the bigger problem is that the B site, unbeknownst to the T's, is completely under their control.
Yeah, they had no idea, the 2 CTs in mid, that the play in underground was so far up. Valde is just throwing out a smoke saying, okay, I got connector covered, just rotate away. And the second the CT on short is rotating away, the peak is actually coming out from Flit. So if that communication was maybe 2-3 seconds quicker, that CT would have been gone by now. So interesting little timing gap that actually becomes the round, because unless Issa finds a free opening here, he's going to go and save the AWP. And now he definitely has to try and save something. Maybe deny Flit's weapon, and he will. There's a kit. He does have one himself as well, but he's going to take the AWP and save it. Oh, he's going for a Tom. He doesn't care now. Nah.
Yeah, he doesn't have time.
I was about to say, like, you need to be quicker if you want to do that, Issa.
Well, that was the thing about that round in general, is that...
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's not good. Is he going to get the AWP? He is as well. That is perfect. That's a freebie for extra
That's
power.
what you
He's
want.
already juggling.
That's what you want.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of scary about that round is I think for pretty much that whole time, Issa wanted to go for that.
Yeah.
Like, you could see him edging around short, and his teammate was just nowhere to be seen. I believe that was Valde. So, I'm maybe a little bit of miscommunication coming in there from OG, but yeah,
I can also guarantee you.
late.
I can also guarantee you that the coach Ruger right now, if I'm pretty sure they can talk to the players at this point. So he would just don't go for it. Don't go for it. Just the standard Danish CS thing. Just play the clever one. Be logical. And he's just like, no, but I can win the round. Don't do it.
I'm pumped up, coach. I could do it. We go.
Ruger's just like, nah.
Push in. It's going to be Issa to kick things off. And Mantu with another. There have still been trades back. And that's something that I think ForZe have done very well so far, is a lot of the time they don't get that opening pick, as you can see from FaceCrack's 3-13 scoreline. But they have been very good at turning these rounds back. They're going to flash Gary through to try and give him an aggressive peek, and he's going to take it as well. The IGL leading by example, and there's another flash to be had. He wants a little bit more, and he'll get it. Valde falls as well. It leaves Alexi B and Mantu, and this time, well, there's no question on the lips of Ruger. This is the last round of the half. They've got to be going for it. Only got a little bit of utility, but maybe that HE can do some damage. 2 players with 30 HP between them. If it catches either, that could be enough, but they've got to get past XP powers up, and they won't do that. A 9-6 T-side half for ForZe are looking strong today, and we'll see if they can close this out in the second half.
On top of me, and life gets hard to bear. I've got a certain remedy to live without. D-A-N-C-E, move M-Y-F-E-E-T. Nothing means that much to me. I choose D-A-N, D-A-N-C-E. You're about to lose your mind, trouble in your head. There's always a dance floor to find, to lose yourself instead. Waiting for the weekend, everyone's a VIP. The city's out for the taking. Let your head down and follow me. Waiting for the weekend, setting fires underneath the feet, hoping never lose the feeling, never lose the feeling. I just
ForZe started out strong on Mirage, but can they close it out against the OGs? Flit, double flashbang kit, and it's going to be double flashbang smoke on Alexibi, and we're going to see a B take from OG to start the second half off. Let's see if they can put some fire under this team right now.
Already, Amaze are under pressure. He does at least get a 1-for-1 trade, and Flit is into support. He needs to just stay alive, though, because the rest of the team is still very, very far away. Actually, a peek out with the bomb. That's a bit risky from Valde, considering he's rounded the site, but I think someone's given the call that he does have the bomb and needs to get it down. 3v4 situation. Kit down on the site, as we can see. But getting to that is going to be a lot easier said than done. FaceCrack looking to lead the charge as always. And, well, there's a quick kill back in. A second one for FaceCrack. Maybe looking to double his kills alone in this round as Mantu is the only one remaining and FaceCrack demolishes them. That's what we like to see from the entry fragger. Of course, he does it all on the CT side instead.
Yeah, Tom, he hurt you in that first half, and I was like, I gotta show that guy.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
But yeah, FaceCrack, as we said in that first half, he is night and day. And this is definitely the day because that was impressive from him.
I was about to say, obviously, there's the team talk coming in from Roga, but I wonder if maybe they had one from Vladislava as well. Clearly, it hasn't gone too well, at least in the pistol round. But they do get a bomb plant, and I can't believe we live in a world where you can lose the pistol round and come back with 5 rifles. This actually makes me feel a bit sick.
I'm pretty angry with this as well. It's just too stupid, in my opinion. Yes, I know they have no utility or one smoke, but it's still kind of weird that you can get an almost a good buy than the CT side, even though they won the round. Very close range though. Smoke towards CT. When they go out, this Molotov is going to be everything. But Mantu gets an opening, but they'll have to run through the fire if they want to go onto this side. NBK's burning, but FaceCrack is being lit up as well. 2 guys into jungle already. Almaser will have to go through the murder hole, and you never survive that. Actually, he does get 1 frag before he's dying off, so I guess that's fine. But a 4v3 post plant for the T side in this round is everything they could have hoped for.
I almost want to know how many times FaceCrack has already been shot in this round. That looked like a 53-9 through the different walls. They're actually looking like they're just going to duck out of this round, though. And then that's a strong comeback. As said, it does make me feel physically ill that they managed to get that many rifles, but it doesn't take away from the fact that that was a really impactful entry kill from Mantu, because you mentioned it. They had next to no utility going into an A-site take, which if almost just saying that out loud makes me think that it should fail, because there's so many different angles that you have to cover in that. But they get the entries They put themselves in a good spot. Of course, going into the next round, I would expect to see a force from the remaining couple of players of ForZe, mainly just because even going into the round after that, they won't have enough to properly purchase anyway. So might as well get some upgraded pistols.
This should be deagle utility around this for sure. I see no other way around it. And that's still a decent chance. Like, it's only Elmasa and Jerry who has to go on pistols. Like, Exit Power, Flit, and FaceCrack still have full weaponry. They have decent utility. They have a kit as well. This is not a bad buy at all for ForZe. OG, yes, they have better weaponry, of course, and more utility, but this is still a dangerous round.
Jerry, one of the few players that still sticks to that 5-7, and I've seen him have some pretty nice clips with it. A few times he's even... Like, I picked it up and I've been like, oh, I bet I can do that, and I can't. But
yeah, I really like the 5-7 as well. It's also because I hate the CZ 75.
Yeah, I think it's more noob proof.
That is true. That's why I use it. I'm getting too old now, Tom. I've played CS for so many years, so I'm becoming bad now.
I was always bad, but that's not the point. That's why we cast. That's why we cast.
That is.
Here we go.
I would like to have seen the young Tom in the British scene back in the day. That would have been perfect.
No, it wouldn't. It would have been atrocious. It'd basically be the same as now.
FaceCrack has been either atrocious or perfect. And this round, he will be, well, a little bit of both. Exit Power in the back of Mantu, not ready at all for that. And now Jerry, with this 5-7 that we talked about, can't be the hero. Picks up one, but eventually he's traded out. This is a one-man advantage for the CT side. Molotov is going to be good to keep them in their positions, not to do anything else. He'll get the plant. Oh, okay. They're just going to peek in behind it.
Yeah, then there's very little time. MBK with everything to do. Now Mazer is just going to put down the bomb planter and the remaining man. I do feel like whoever was in the corner was a little bit lucky that Molotov...
Yeah, I kind of felt like that Molotov was supposed to make them stay in each their own corner. They should not be able to move out without being burned. But apparently there was a way for Elmasa to just rotate behind it.
And just rack him as well. And this, again, leaves both teams in a somewhat awkward position where we're seeing upgraded weaponry once again. The Galils alongside a couple of AKs, but once more, it's a limited utility. We're going to see push through the smoke for a second time. Jerry this time is ready and waiting. Has FaceCrack to support, who's going to hold them back.
Very nice.
Push from ramp.
3 CT.
Slaughtered.
Yeah, 3 CT players on the side. There's nothing you can do about that. Like, they're going to refrag each other every single time. And then the time when you get the third frag, the rotations are going to come in and they're just going to shut you down. It's a bit of a gamble to have 3 defensive players on the side specifically, but in this round, it totally works out for ForZe. So they're going to be on 12 now.
Yeah, we've already seen a comeback of this sort earlier in the day, but I think that the scary prospect for OG in this scenario is the fact that initially we were looking at it and going, okay, this is the Exi Power show. This is him dragging his team through rounds, kicking and screaming while the others just sort of look up and go, I'm glad we've got this hard carry. It's like someone boosted their friends. But it's now started to come up with a few different players stepping up. Like, as said, FaceCrack, he's already got double the kills in the second half that he had in the first. Now, obviously, playing the entry fragger, playing the risky role. Yeah. It's not overly surprising that he can have a bad half and come back, but we've also got Jerry fragging to a decent extent and having some good rounds, and it's a much more well-rounded ForZe to what we've seen in the past with, as I said, like 1 or 2 players just dragging them through.
And interestingly, it's actually been shifted, because if you look over at the ADR, I don't really care about the kills. I like to look at the ADR for this, but Valde is above 100. But they also have 3 teammates in Alexibi, NBK, and Mantu who are all 3 around 60 ADR. Yes, of course, there is Flit on 40 ADR on the CT side of ForZe, but you have Exit Power, you have Jerry, you have Elmasa, who all 3 are laying on fine.
9 assists.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that makes a tear roll down my cheek for all the failed kills.
It's unfortunate, but you kind of get to look at it and say, okay, all of a sudden it's not OG who are this team with 5 individuals who can all go in and step up and take control of the game. You actually, ADR-wise, have 2 individuals right now who are doing the damage, and the rest, they're not really hitting the shots. Like Valde said, was the reason that they lost the last time around.
spray through. Of course, there's only one rifle here, so they're all pretty much just trying to bait for Alexi B. Be the distraction to help him get kills, and they're doing a pretty damn good job of it so far. He's already found 3.
Let's go, Alexi.
Needs to get...
Oh, no.
Never mind. It's just going to get 1 for free, and this leaves it on to Almeza. Both players now with AKs, but one desperately low, the other doesn't have anything.
Right,
but Alexi there
Alexi.
to close it. That was a sick round from him.
There we
4
go.
kills. But I do think as well, we have to give credit to his fallen comrades, who basically just acted as pure distraction, just allowing FaceCrack to take these battles and, well, basically keeping their raid boss safe.
12-8. Still 4 rounds between these 2 teams, but economy once again is shaky, and this is the kind of a half eco for ForZe. FaceCrack once again crazy aggressive. Will be shut down because there's no one to face, so he'll have to go back into mid. Are they ready for this, Alexi B and NBK? I think he's definitely heard Alexi B jump now, but that's a free kill. Secondary is not going to be free because NBK is there.
Oh, very wanting this peak, but is clearly aware. Cleaning up this A site, that is completely under the control. The T side, and while the remaining 2, the XP Power has got to save this AWP. Like, money for the next round, I think realistically FaceCrack can probably drop a weapon over to a teammate, which would probably be Flit, and then the rest can buy. So this AWP save is integral.
This is potentially also like the last Mirage we saw, gonna have the chance of going to all 30 rounds, because OG now seems to be the team that I've got the wind in their sails. Our ForZe are up still and have money still, but anything can happen at this point. And we talked about Flip being this young star, being this young player who can go out and change games. But he hasn't really done a lot in this one. He is 114 rating in the last 3 months. So nice looking ratings from him, but in this game hasn't really done that much. And also he's not in a position where he's usually being the sacrificial lamb, but he's going out for it. He's baiting. Yes, in team bait rounds, he'll of course do his part, but he's not the one who's being sent away for, let's say, an exit power or a FaceCrack to do something crazy. He actually has chances. So he'll need to step it up.
That was the thing. He was #1 pretty much on the list of players that Na'Vi wanted to slot into their roster. Of course, everybody knows Perfecto now, but at the time, I think he was quite far down the list. Definitely become a good member of the Na'Vi squad, but they wanted Flit, and for a very good reason. But he's had the excuse in the past of like still being studying. I believe he finished a few months ago, but that excuse is now gone. We need to start seeing him be the secondary star of this squad, the man that is alongside XP Power. This is a bold play, and he might get caught out here. He's got to be aware that there is a player still around that balcony. I am not sure how he's managed to take such an aggressive peek and then just walk back out through the smoke.
But now we were talking about him before. He'll smoke himself off here on short. And that's also one of the things that comes, the pressure with being a player who has so much potential. You always have the pressure of course, the casters and also the fans, more importantly, constantly counting on you and your teammates as well to do the big move, the big play. And Jerry now has to make a big play himself, flashes himself out and grabs the first one, or at least goes for it, but this is so ready for it. The flash assist from Alexi B as well, FaceCrack in defensive posture. Has exit power towards CT spawn. This is not a bad angle, but the nade is perfect. FaceCrack biding his time, should get a double, but NBK swings around, and that should be the round.
Yeah, that was a really fast turnaround from NBK. And a few moments where you kind of feel like there were opportunities for ForZe, but again, like I think credit has to be given to Issa on the entry. I think he's been doing a great job. 20 kills to his name, and someone who is only looking better and better whenever I see him in this OG roster. And it's definitely made up for maybe a few quieter performances today. The thing is, if you actually look at the frags across the board, you would think that either this was dead even or that probably OG were winning. Like they've had, it's a bit of a weird scoreboard to say the least, but they've had a couple of save rounds, a couple where they sort of, it was them blowing out their opponent, and then the rounds that they've lost, I feel like have been a lot closer. But realistically, this almost looks dead even. But even still, ForZe are sat in the lead. However, this shouldn't be a buy. The extra money that they've got is on Xe Power. I want to see that saved for an AWP.
Yeah, definitely. Just in like most sports, when it comes down to the wire, you want your star player, your MVP candidate to have every single weapon at his disposal. And sometimes in traditional sports, it's figuratively. In Counter-Strike, it is very literally. You want Xe Power to have that AWP.
Well, they're going to try and double stack underneath the balcony. That's not gone very well. Issa at this point is expecting players to be there. I don't, again, know how Cherry's managed to get away with that, but it doesn't last long. LXCB padding the stats and the stack. The face crack. Does still get one. Now, the bomb is down in a bit of an awkward position. MBK going to have to fight for that.
Why is the bomb down
This could be a
there?
moment to step up. I think it was on LXCB when he was running around, maybe not realizing he had it.
Yeah.
Luckily, it doesn't play too big a part. And money, well, normally we talk about, oh, they lost 3 players. That's going to be a bit costly. Not for OG. They've got a ridiculous amount of cash.
This is another one of these swing rounds that we talk about, because Xe Power has his AWP. There's a full buy on the CT side, but if they lose this, yes, they have decent loss bonus, but ForZe will be on a pistol buy, and OG will be tying the game up, and then they'll have an advantage to get onto 13. So this is a very important round for ForZe. They need to get this one in the bag and kind of stop the momentum of OG and stop the money pouring in.
Lower default round from OG. We've seen them attempt to basically blast through ramp a few times, and well, I do still see Issa around this position, so I do wonder if he's going to try something quite as risky as what we've seen recently. Still some pieces of utility missing. That flashbang I don't think was anywhere near deep enough, so it doesn't allow Jerry to peek. He's still going to do it anyway, and Mantu is more than prepared.
Flit will not have a chance of spawning LXB here. So it goes in, but he can still hold this angle. 3 T players going in towards the connector, where face crack is, and what a pre-fire from LXB just clears the angle perfectly. Fred coming in the back now. He has to grab 2, and he will.
Such a clean spray. Both players within a matter of bullets. Xe Power is still just waiting for that man to try and clear the palace, but more going to be MPK. Is there a flash for him, or is he just going to hold the close angle? It doesn't matter. There's no real reface either. I thought he'd go for the trade, but there's actually 3 players coming in for this angle. The flash is good. MBK up close. Gets one while blind. And Issa's on this long rotation back. The plan to hold for middle, but they have a smoke. They have a Molotov. They can easily push him out of position and make this one very awkward. They're actually just going to smoke onto the bomb. And now the jump up from Xe Power. What? And Issa's going to get both through smoke. What a play from him. The man from Jordan holding the line once more. And he will even things up 12-12.
What a play from Issa. Almost becoming Air Jordan in that sequence there, because that was a next level performance through the smoke. Pistols. Now on ForZe. As predicted. Valde will have an easy time here, at least should have, with the backup behind him. Should not fear anything. What? He has the LXCB in his back. How have they not at least just traded this?
This is, of course, coming from Niels. I don't believe in Jinx's top. So, how are you feeling now?
I don't care. Jinxes are not real. What else do you believe in? Ghosts?
Oh,
come on.
Look behind you.
That's just stupid. That's just one of the rounds where, like, when they watch this in review after the game, when
they're
they're
going to be
practicing.
like, damn it, Risk, why have you done that?
Yeah. A lot of people actually think the players have a huge say in what happens in the CS game. It's all the commentators at the time.
Who are you?
Yeah.
The power, though, he does have a lot to say in this round. Just a bit of a dicey spray, but he gets away with it. The face back to MBK won't close this out just yet, though. The problem is Issa is so far away, and MBK is actually going to get quickly dispatched of by the CZ. Has left onto this man again. He clutched out a 1v2 in the last round. He's got 35 seconds to try and deal with this one. Clearing Flip's position, though, it's going to be tough, but he does have a Molotov. However, he would have to give away his position, and Amazed has already spotted him. Perfect timing, great synergy, and ForZe take a round with just pistols.
And once again, we have to come back to the play that happened in Underground. Let's see it here. Face crack. Yeah, that's the power of the 5-7, but it's also LXCB who should have had that refrag. I know Val is low on HP. I can kind of forgive that, but LXCB should have been ready there. They were both standing at the position to pressure him, so that's unfortunate. But that should have been at least a 1-for-1 trade. Instead of
OG's gone, Risk.
It has disappeared. Oh, okay.
Okay, then.
NBK through the smoke.
He's having a pretty good game.
But Jerry's behind the smoke right now. That's one for free. Will he get the second one? What? NBK! Man, but Flint answers back. What a round. This round is so weird.
This doesn't make a lot of sense. And
but now Flint is rotating in.
Make the call. Yeah, he's
Flint is rotating in.
Spot on.
Wow. But
oh no, he hasn't. Oh dear.
He's going away. Oh, Tom, this is a free plant, Tom. They have 2 Molotovs as well. If they had a smoke right now, if OG had a smoke, this would be round over.
And faking out has given a little bit of a chance. The push through ramp, though, and the problem is Armeza is ridiculously far away. In fact, they're almost as far away as he could possibly be.
Yeah.
So this is going to take a very long time for him to get back to the site. Now, they do have kits available to them. They have some utility of their own. So it's not the end of the world, but this gives perfect afterplant positions. In fact, the market's even been taken from Valde. He's going to come back, realizing at this point it has to be clear. The flashbang is spot on. It's an awkward duel, though, and this gives Flit a slim chance. He's going to try and fake them out, get on that diffusal. He's just got to try and stick it. The spray through his wild, but it gets there in the end. OG will clutch this one out. It was a messy one at that. And luckily for ForZe, those extra couple of rounds, or the one that they managed to win off of pistols, has given them a buffer, so they can still buy.
This is going all the way.
Oh,
these are 2. What? 2 frags where he doesn't see his opponent at all. Like, either he's flashed or it's totally through a smoke. NBK. Oh, okay. Is that aggressively also catching another aggressor in Jerry pushing out forward?
What?
Split also. They're just like, it's a competition who can be the most aggressive. And so far it's a tie.
Yeah, same in the scoreline. It really is a tie. I've been enjoying Issa's entry fragging a lot, though.
This is an interesting position for face crack, though.
Is this the spot where you can crouch back under the ladder? It doesn't really matter. Exipower is now going to get the kill. While Blind, the second one, lightning fast off the AWPer. But there is Valde to return a kill back. Still making this seem possible. Now, the bomb is down on ramp, but something that should be relatively easy for them to retrieve. They're going to expend some utility to at least give them the chance. Now, there isn't a flank just yet. But with all this utility, we're actually still going to see Armeza go back. But I believe this is just to take short.
As blended safely is, so he's now behind the boxes, but that can be very easily naded out. 12 HP remaining, but still alive. 2v3, I think this has to be on Valde. Is kind of trying to scout and see something, and even if he goes down, he gets some information. He can put it all onto Valde. It's planted for Valde, it's planted for the connector. Let's see. The Danish superstar. 1v3, they have a smoke, but he has the position locked down. Elmacer's ready for it, but he missed the shot. He missed the chance, Valde. He actually has the position right now. Doesn't hear anyone going for it. The meat shield is happening, but does he know that? No, he doesn't know. He does know that Exipower is still on the bomb.
He's shoot that twice today.
That's insane.
Twice. It's been a 1 versus 3. I think it was Mighty Max last time. Gets 2 kills through the smoke.
That was on Inferno.
And now we've just seen it again. And the thing is, they were just trying to be the meat shields. They knew exactly where he was going to be lining up. And you have to, at that point, consider, okay, I've probably killed the planter, but or the diffuser, sorry. And it's not the case once again.
$14-13 for ForZe. And once more, we talk about the economy, and OG has brought all the way down. No money left. And for the players on ForZe, we can say the same. So the team that gets this one to go will also catch the momentum. If ForZe gets it, they probably get the map. If OG gets it, they'll tie the game up and also potentially get on 15. Flit start things off. Face crack in a good position. Anti-flash for him, but he'll be shut up by Mantu. But bomb is down. Jerry has spotted it. Under pressure. Heavy pressure. Indeed, and the flashbang is perfect. Jerry dancing around.
Dead for sure, though. Founder's made his way up the connector, but will he expect Flit so closely behind him? He's peeking a lower angle.
Right.
Still wins the duel, though. Now it's left onto just one. Almeza spots Alexi B, and it's not going to happen this time. Again, they
This is
start
going to be a
things off
full
strong.
eco. Full eco from ForZe. Maybe a Deagle, maybe some P250s. But OG, they're definitely going to get 15 here. It's going to be a miracle if ForZe gets this round.
Well, you heard it here first. It's going to be a miracle if they get this round. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, say no more.
God damn it, Tom. Well, actually, I'm kind of curious. Like, Exapower is buying down to 1,200. They only have 2 rounds, so they don't have 3 rounds of loss bonus. Which means he will be missing a flashbang or 2, I think.
I think he's probably going to get given an AWP by Jerry.
Yeah, that's
Jerry will
true.
just take the hit.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the blitz.
But Elmas is also low, and Flit is also semi-low on money, so...
It's fine. They're going to win this round, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, okay. Then again, we are expecting a miracle, so... NBKS acted like a sneaky, sneaky snake and made his way onto the B-bomb site together with all his teammates. And it's just Almasa here, and he'll be shut down. Maybe he'll get a frag. The round is then over automatically. So very, very far away from a miracle, Tom.
Yeah, unfortunately with the investment as well, it's not even like they just invested into Kevlar, where you could say, okay, now they can just save that and just buy off of it in the next round. They mostly just invested into Deagles, so if anything, they don't even have that much to lose going forward. Any exits would be great just to try and retrieve some weaponry towards the end, but you can see there's almost a firing squad for Face Crack to try and peek into here.
Yeah, how
Or
many
just
weapons can
waiting
they
on the
deny?
angle.
Like, can they keep them on the side, though? Because they have 1 in T-spawn and 1 coming from underground. If they get Issa now and hold the position... Oh, unfortunate for Exapower. And now they'll be able to rotate at least out to the middle of T apartments and potentially survive. 4 players and get a couple of frags as well. So, no real weapons denied. OG will have economy, full economy for a full buy this round. ForZe will have the same, but they will lack a little bit of utility. You can see it on Almasa, who only has a smoke. You can see it on Exapower, who has no Molotov. Actually, only 1 Molotov, and that is on Face Crack. So they're definitely lacking utility, but it's very close to a full buy.
Teams winning out their T side as a bare minimum. The question is, can OG now
Gap in the smoke.
win themselves the map?
You can just spot to the left side of that. If there's no flash combination to enter mid, he'll just stay here. Like, he even calls for the backup of Face Crack. So Exapower and Face Crack, they have a very nice setup here. But OG, they have not moved in just yet. Not using those smokes at all. Surely there must be a flash combination to get into mid now.
We're rotating another player. It's Flit to hold in the
here's-
window as well.
here's the smoke.
This has just
and-
become scarier, though.
And now the flash
Smoke
combination.
thrown out. Face
Here we
Crack's
go.
going to be somewhat alone to flash
Oh,
out, and there's
perfect.
MBK. Face Crack needs to
Perfect.
go huge, and they just wipe out this middle control, leaving just 2 players to try and save the map. It's on to Jerry and Almeza. Almeza's even flashed off the angle. Every grenade this round from OG, except maybe that first smoke, have been absolutely perfect. Jerry with the timing, though. This is the free kill. If he can get it, he's getting a bit frustrated. Mantu, stand still, for God's sake. I want my freebie. The other 3, however, are not going to be so easy, as they've already made plays towards CT. Also a player close to the ramp in the form of Issa. He's lining up a nade. That could work out. Actually, Jerry going to find the kill, but still, all they need is trades from here on out. One more kill and they take the map, and that's exactly what Valde will do. It's 16-14 for OG, as close as it could be, and there were definitely opportunities in this one for ForZe.
What a great combination as well on flashbangs and smokes in the middle. You kind of draw out the opponents and make sure that they have a stack into mid. And then it's actually not just one flashbang. That's why I mentioned it's a flashbang combination. You have two flashbangs being thrown there, 2 flashbangs assists coming in, and then a third one in the end. And that's just how you play that counter aggression to mid from the T side. Very nicely done. I was expecting it, but it's always nice to see a play like that being executed in real time. So very well done to OG.
Yeah, of course, a pretty close map in the end. I'm sure there's plenty for the analysts to break down. So we'll be off to a break, and we'll come back to see if OG will take it in 2.